Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Portugal from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! Yes. In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
we've got a Friday show on a Thursday because, hey, you'll want to watch the FA Cup game tomorrow. Oh, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in a virtual room filled with lions. I've got Ollie. I've got Chris. It's the Friday show on a Thursday. And that means I'm going to ask the question, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
My daughter's actually going to have a game this week.
Oh, no frozen pitch?
No, we're on an artificial pitch.
Oh,
we're on a 3G, so it's actually going ahead. We're actually going to get a game. It's the second game in nearly 3 months. So
I'm surprised health and safety let people play in this cold.
Yeah,
if I'm honest.
I know, right?
Oh man. Oh, I mean, what about you, Ollie? Is it a quiet one?
Do you know what it is actually?
Wow.
But you know what I realise? What a lot of when I say I'm having a quiet weekend, it usually means I'm doing chores and planning my wedding.
Wow.
That's usually what it means.
Pretty...
but just a quiet one is an easier thing to say.
Oh man. For me, NFL conference games. I'm excited for the conference championships. I'm like, yay! They're both at Sunday, and one of them I can't watch because I'll be in bed asleep for work early in the morning. But the first one I can watch, and that is good enough for me. I'll take that. And that would be Chiefs at Ravens. So we'll see how that plays out. Right. Time to hit the news. Oh, it's that time of the week. We're going to check out the news you may have missed in the elevator of Chelsea news. Chelsea are interested in Aston Villa forward Jean Duran. Karim Benzema has been offered to Chelsea after being asked to train away from the main group by Al Ittihad head coach Marcelo Gallardo. Chelsea are monitoring Lena Oberdorf. Chelsea women are closing in on the signing of Levante striker Maya Ramirez to replace the injured Sam Kerr. Canada's Jesse Fleming is set to leave Chelsea and join Portland Thorns for around £250,000. Thiago Silva is also set to leave Chelsea come the end of the season. And finally, the Jordan brand is in negotiations with Chelsea and Spurs. And the key condition is apparently whoever's in a European Cup next season. Jordan would
Spurs then.
I'll behave. Jordan would prefer Chelsea due to its greater recognition as a football brand and past success. And I realised that on Twitter, someone went, Jordan Brand was like a name because the B was capital, and I can't unsee it now. Yes, Jordan Brand are in the go. Who is that wonder kid? Don't know.
Yeah, the American wonder kid from the 80s that Chelsea are trying to buy.
Oh, so I mean, what from this week's news grabbed your attention?
There was actually something as well that you didn't mention. That you mentioned Sam Kerr. It also does look like now that her contract is going to get wrapped up.
So happy
to extend. So you know that's great news for us all.
Yeah.
For a minute there, we weren't really sure. You know, and she got injured, and we know how the ownership can be with players who are injured or not necessarily in the team, especially when there's contract negotiations happening. So, but it seems to have been resolved pretty quick, and hopefully it gets confirmed soon.
Yeah, that's the best news, really. I mean, Can't say fairer than that, because that way, you know, it shows that the club care about her as a person, not just a player, because obviously the rehab and everything is gonna suck. It's not a nice rehab. And on top of that, you also, I think people forget that when that contract ends, they have no obligation to do the rehabilitation and the doctors and everything else. And if no club was to take her on, that's quite dramatic. So I'm really glad that that's been sorted on a human side as well, because
it's the right thing to do, isn't it? Above all else.
Yeah, and I think what people forget as well, especially in women's football, is they are not the multi-millionaire footballers that like Premier League players are.
Well, it's like you say, Jesse Fleming's only being bought for £250,000. If you can name me any Premier League footballer that this season that has transferred for £250,000. I mean, you just
You
can't.
wouldn't.
There aren't any.
No, that's a very
That's a
good point.
weekly wage now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. That's crazy.
I mean, it's obviously the record fee ever paid for a female player is when Kira Walsh went to Barcelona from City, and that was for 400,000.
That's mad,
Is that really what the
That's the
For the-
highest.
the record is?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
record
It just
is-
shows how long of a way to go there is.
Well, the rumor is that obviously when we sign Ramirez, she will become the new record breaker at 500 because apparently the release clause was 500,000 euros. So I'm guessing when you convert that down, it'll be just be a
You know
break
what
the record.
we need to be doing, like in terms of women's football for a strategy. What we're doing with the men's team at the moment, we should be doing with the women's team, because even the most expensive, best, female football wonder kid out there is going to be like 50 quid. So like,
yeah,
what?
it's so true.
So why not? I don't know.
Um,
Why not?
I mean, you saying about signings and wonder kids, John Duran, he seems to be perfect for
Oh,
Chelsea
God.
because he's injured. He's picked up an
This
injury,
is-
and I just thought that's perfect. Some
This
of our
is
medical
such a
team are
stupid move.
on a loan move, aren't they? At Villa, all of a sudden, like we'll get some early work in. It's not going to happen now with the injury, I doubt.
No, I doubt it. I mean, this move didn't have me hungry like the wolf. I can tell you that. much.
Away.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
Ah, it was such a bad move, though, isn't it? I mean, this
It
is a
doesn't
player
seem
who
right.
this is a player who can't get in the Villa team,
No.
and we'll have him as our
Yeah,
starting
we're very
point.
good at
That's a good idea.
Oh.
What a fucking stupid idea!
It doesn't make any sense, especially when we've got David Washington, we've got David Datro Fofana, we've got Jimmy J Morgan in the academy. Like, I feel like we'd just be buying him for buying him's sake. I don't know.
good at that
Like,
as
it doesn't
well.
feel to me like he has any. I don't think he has anything he can do that any of our current strikers, or if we get Osherman can do. Do you know what I mean?
That's fair.
It doesn't really feel like he would add anything. I mean, maybe if we get him for cheap and he replaces Broyo, I guess from a financial perspective, it's a leg up, maybe. But I don't know.
I mean, my quick fire pieces from the news are, I mean, many seasons of dreadful kits from Nike. So I if it goes through, I can't wait to see what Air Jordan do for us.
That'd be great.
I know
love
they're
that brand.
they're associated with Nike, but they're very different to the standard template.
Didn't they do Liverpool's kits, Jordan?
Oh, I don't know.
A couple
I really
years
cannot
ago,
remember.
they were really good. I think they did, but I'm not.
I just always think of PSG.
Yeah,
yeah, their kits are class. To be fair,
I'd
They're
forgot. that
they're so linked with them that I can't really think of anything but PSG when you say that.
I only realised today when I was looking them up, Converse did a collab with Liverpool once.
Did they?
Yeah, Converse are owned by Nike as well, so it kind of that makes sense in a way. But I
that-
looked and went, "Oh, don't
that,
remember
do you
that
know what?
year."
That reminds me of clubs doing like commercial stuff. There was something else in the news, and it really grind my gears. It really bothered me. So the club, I think it was the club, or someone put out on social media something that Chelsea were doing. It was at a women's game at Stamford Bridge, where there was someone like I think for some sponsorship purposes or whatever else, they had like a hotel room, like a hospitality thing, like set up for someone to like watch the game in, but like out on the terrace on the stand. Now in a section where there weren't any fans, by the way, it wasn't a full stadium, and people were getting really up in arms about it, being like, what is happening to our club? All the commercial stuff, around our club. We're a franchise, we're not a club, and it's like, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like we're always talking about going for the best players, going for Osherman and Benzema, and like we've been quite blessed as Chelsea fans, really, because most of the top targets we try to go for, especially in player terms, even in the last couple of seasons, we get them. And you can't be going for all, you can't be saying on the one hand, I want, you can't be saying, I want the club to raise money and I want the club to be successful commercially, and at the same time cringe every time something like this happens, because like, where are you going to get the money from? Like, it just really annoys me, because it's like people are like, the club needs to be successful financially, and it's like, oh, not like that. It's just, who cares? Like, it just doesn't. I guess I care.
One thing that I've got to bring it up. I've got to. It's what we don't. It's not official, but the rumours are quite strong. Thiago Silva. I am. If it happens, I'm gutted. I'm devastated. It's like losing my favourite bacon tin. I knew one day it would happen. I wish him the best. I do. He's a legend in our history, and I do hope to see him back at the Bridge as a coach or just in some capacity one day. I didn't realise when we signed him how integral he would become in our club's history. Because
I think a
Champions
lot of
League
people thought
winner.
he would be a stopgap signing.
Yeah, it's just look, he's going to be 40 in September, so I know he's not. He's 40. He's 39, so he's 40. But yeah, the thing is, he's not going to be at us club forever. And if he wishes to, go back to Brazil and finish his career with, I think it's Fluminense is the rumor. I think you can't say, oh no, you got to stay. You got to wish him the best. So it's a shame though if it.
It's totally fair to him and what he wants to do, if that is what he wants to do. But I think that we're missing a massive trick by having him in the in Poch's coaching staff. I really do, because you don't lose that experience. He gets to stay around with the team and the squad. He still gets to play. He doesn't have to move city. He doesn't have to move country. His family can stay because his kids are in the academy as well.
Yeah.
Like, it just strikes me that that would be the best option, but nobody is even considering it from what I can tell. And it seems like a weird thing for a player who's so close to retirement.
Yeah.
I didn't realise how good Thiago Silva was until we signed him. I always knew he was good, but I think until you watch him every week, you actually don't notice how good he is. And I think he's got to be considered now as the partner to John Terry in our best Premier League.
He's definitely pushing Carvalho for that place, 100%. He's top 3, if not top 2.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's spot on. Right, double match report today. First up, we've got Chelsea women. They took on Real Madrid in their penultimate Champions League game of the campaign. Here is that match report. In a tightly contested first half, both Chelsea and Real Madrid showed glimpses of attacking intent, but they just struggled to find the cutting edge in front of goal. Despite confident approach play from Chelsea and a flurry of chances, particularly from the likes of Fran Kirby and Aaron Cuthbert, the opening 45 minutes ended without either side managing to break the deadlock. However, that momentum shifted in the second half as Chelsea intensified their attacking pressure. It was a decisive moment when Niamh Charles was brought down in the box, leading to a penalty. Guro Reiten calmly stepped up to convert from the spot, giving Chelsea that deserved lead. Yet, that advantage was just so short-lived as Real Madrid swiftly responded with a goal of their own. Hannah Hampton made an initial save, but the rebound fell kindly to Athinia, who made no mistake in finding the back of the net, levelling the score at 1-1. Despite this setback, though, Chelsea showed resilience, determination, and they just regained control of this game. And the effort paid off when Cuthbert's low cross took a fortunate deflection off a Madrid defender, and it ended up in the back of the net, 2-1. Then, with the introduction of Lauren James at half-time, there was that fresh attack, fresh impetus, and we might have only ended 2-1, but Chelsea's defence was pretty solid, and it ensured that we were able to hold on to a very vital victory. And at the end of the day, it means that we have qualified for the quarter-final stage, and we will hopefully avoid the likes of Lyon and Barcelona in that quarter-final draw. So, Chelsea 2, Real Madrid 1. Chelsea worked hard at home against the mighty Madrid, but we get the win. It seals the place in the quarterfinals. Job done. We probably now won't face Lyon or Barcelona in the quarterfinals, which is good. I mean, thoughts in general, Chris, on it?
I thought it was a decent enough performance. I just think it highlighted how much we're missing Sam Kerr. I think when Lauren James doesn't play, without Kerr, we just miss something. And this game highlighted why I think we're going for a striker still. Because Mia Fisher, to be fair, I think she looks like a decent player and she scored a couple of goals. But I think she's still adapting, and I think she's still got a long way to go before you would consider her to be the starting striker for a team like Chelsea. So I just think overall it was sort of a job done performance. But I think it would have been more comfortable if we had Sam Kerr playing, because I just think we created a lot of sort of half chances in the first half, especially. that I think Kerr would have turned into bigger chances than they were.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, apart from you're spot on. My takeaway from this game was just the performance from Ashley Lawrence. I mean, she was putting in the work, especially she's to be fair, not just once against Madrid. She did it in the other game. You know, that she showed up twice in this group against Madrid. And yesterday when I watched her, you know, I felt she was switching gears, playing more like a classic fullback. And you know what? She held down that side like a fortress. It was a sight to behold. It was bloody awesome. And you know what? If she steps up even more in the attacking part of her game, something special.
I think over the last 2 games, she started to look like the player that we was all so excited about when we signed her.
Exactly. I mean, the stats alone in the 90 minutes, it was 69 of 77 accurate passes completed, 110 touches, 2 successful dribbles, 13 passes in the final third, 2 tackles won, 8 recoveries, 5 of 7 ground duels won. Getting back to her best, which is what we need at this club. And it was bloody brilliant to watch. It really was. So next up is Brighton. So it's not quite the same Brighton as you know. We're always scared of hearing that word, but yeah. Hopefully,
I twitch every time anyone ever says Brighton.
Hopefully, we'll be positive again after the weekend. We move to the League Cup semi-final match report. This one's sponsored by the Sixth Sense, because I never saw the twist coming that Chelsea would score 6 from 6 shots. Really didn't. Yes, Chelsea won 6-1 against Borough. We storm our way to Wembley. Who stood out for you in your winners section?
I've got 4 winners. I couldn't make 3.
Bloody hell, I got 3
Wow.
because I just thought
I've got 3, but I could have had more if I really wanted to.
Same, but I followed the rules. Nah, come on. Go on, Chris. Go on.
I didn't.
Right, go on, Chris.
Ben Chilwell.
He's on mine.
I'm mine.
Yeah,
I thought he was excellent. Because I worried a bit with it being his sort of first start coming back from injury, and you just never really know, do you, how it's going to go. But I thought he looked super fit. He looked really sharp. He really added an attacking threat to us. I think Chilwell's movement off the ball is incredibly underrated, especially by people who like to criticise him, like that section of Chelsea fans who don't like him for no reason at all.
Yeah.
But I just think his movement off the ball really adds something to our attack, and he was unlucky not to score with the header. He played a great pass for Sterling for the opening goal, the outside of his left foot coming on the inside. I just thought overall,
he
for
really
a
had the
first
threat
start,
from
he
that
was
side
class
as well that we just don't seem to have when he doesn't play.
Yeah.
I mean, getting him back in that starting lineup, it's like having your favourite dish after a week of bland meals. He was a game changer for us, and to just see him back in his natural spot at left back, it was like a cherry. It was a cherry on top. Yeah. I mean, finally, people tend to just forget how much impact this guy brings to the table for us, because ever since he joined, he's been one of the keys to this squad. And now he's back on the pitch. He's wearing the armband. He's leading like a true boss. And now, if he just keeps those fitness levels up and they keep going up, mark my words, we're in for a lot more wins when he's on the field, rather obviously than nursing an injury in the medical room. It's the boost we needed. I'm just so glad that he's back.
Is it worth being a bit cheeky and saying, like, it's the first time we've actually properly played players in their actual positions and we won and scored 6 goals?
Well, I think that's definitely.
I think it's fair. I think the only person who was out of position would be Disasi, really.
Yeah, and he did all right.
He did really.
I thought he was really good as well. So yeah, I think it's a fair comment.
I don't know. It's not a criticism on Poch really, because we won 6-1, but it's like, you know, we looked so much more fluid. We looked so much more balanced. With having actual centre backs at centre back and full backs at full back. It just, I don't know. For me, it seems like the right thing. Maybe it's that Potts just hasn't trusted anyone else to play there other than Colwill. Maybe, I guess. And Gusto on occasion as well, and Cucurella a bit. But mostly Colwill. It's just interesting to see what will happen with the squad now, with Chilwell coming back and starting well. I think he'll need to manage his minutes. So I think we're going to see a lot more of Colwill still at left back before he's back full time.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull the stat up because someone had mentioned about how many games that Reece James and Chilwell had played together.
It's 11.
And is it really that many? Wow.
It's about 8 or 11 or something like that.
I'm just trying to find it.
Certainly less than 20.
I did note it down. I've lost it. Of course I have. Reece James.
It could be 3, you know.
It's
it could be none. To be honest, it could be one.
Could be one. Just one game.
That one game against Juve about 3 years ago.
Well, apparently he's played 63 times with him.
Doesn't feel like
it. Doesn't feel like that at all.
That can't be right.
Well, hey, I'm just they must have both been on the pitch at the same time. So that's what it says.
They've added England into that.
They've added England and both of them being in the same squad, like one of them being on the bench or something, for sure. Because I swear to God, together they haven't played 20 games together.
Well, it does feel that way. It does. I mean, Chris, you know what? We've all got Chilwell as a winner. So who's your next winner?
Just mentioned him, Disasi.
Fair. He had a really good game.
Yeah, I think the surprise was how much he actually got forward as well. He a bit like
my number
Colwill
9.
in the a bit like Colwill in the last game, really, when he played left back, and I said that he actually played like a left back. Disasi played right back and played like a right back rather than a centre back playing right back. I thought his goal was excellent.
Took it really well.
It was such a good goal because it's the sort of goal we haven't scored in a long time, where someone's won the ball back and then we've just broken in 3 passes. We've scored. It was the sort of counter attack that we haven't really seen since Conte. Excellent finish. Thought he was strong in his whole game, actually, Disasi. I think for again another player who gets a lot of unfair criticism for someone who cost us what is, in today's market, a minimal fee. I just think sometimes he's overly criticised, so I think he deserves some praise when he does well.
Yeah, I think that's bloody fair. Yeah. Well, who's a winner for you, Ollie?
I have Cold Palmer. Gets goal. Scores again. Wait, did he get 1 or 2? I can't even remember now. But he did really well. Yeah, he got 2, didn't he? Just another really good performance in terms of finishing from Palmer. He's really dragging this club through this season a lot. Like I think it's fair to say without him doing well, I think a lot of our other players wouldn't be doing as well, and I think we'd probably be in the relegation zone, to be honest. I just wanted to give him his flowers because as well, because he struggled in the first leg against Middlesbrough, and in the second he's done much better and kind of almost like righted that wrong, as it were.
Yeah,
I'm actually really glad with Palmer, that he had that game against Middlesbrough, because we've seen it so many times where a player for Chelsea is doing really well, then has one bad game, and then they just forget how to play football for the next 2 years before they get sold. And it was really good to see him have a really bad game and then come back and be outstanding in the following 2 games, and that's a sign of a player who I think is going to go on and be really special.
Yeah, I fully agree.
And what's he up to now? It's like he's got like 13 goals or something. Like
it's quite a lot of goals and assists.
10 goals, something like that. He scored I think he's now scored more goals than Mount in one of his seasons, one of his better seasons, I think.
Right. My second winner was confidence, because some might argue, and I've seen it on social, it's just a championship club. Hold up. We just put 6 past them.
And they beat us the first time.
Exactly. I mean, look, if we'd have just squeaked through with a narrow 2-0, maybe there's some doubt there. I'll allow that. But we straight up destroyed Borough. Let's be real. We scored from every shot we took. We hit a bullseye with every arrow. It was precision. And the confidence now that's coursing through this team, it must be off the charts. I mean, we've punched our ticket to the cup final. That's not just big, it's colossal, because it's the kind of result that is the bedrock for building winning culture at a football club. And I am absolutely convinced if we can win this trophy, I think that will set us on the right path.
Also, doesn't making the final now, and with it being against Liverpool, who are definitely going to finish in the top four, doesn't that guarantee us a place in Europe?
I don't know.
I think we have to win it.
I think we have to win it.
Yeah, I thought that only came in if the team who won it didn't qualify for Europe.
Then I think we'd have to come fifth, maybe, or something like that. Like I guess we'd have to come somewhere, and maybe it would bump a place. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna have a look quick. It says here, if the winner has already qualified for Europe through their league finish, if they do, if Man City, so this is the example, right, or winning either the Champions League, blah, blah, blah. It's reserved for goes to the highest placed Premier League side that's not already qualified. It would go to that fifth, sixth, or whatever spot.
Okay.
Not runners up, sadly.
That's annoying. So it's a good segue actually into my next winner from what you said, Mikey, about a winning culture is standards. Because I got a bit of slack in some of my conversations I was having with some of my mates and stuff before the game, saying we should absolutely breeze past Middlesbrough, and anything other than, I said this, I've got the receipts in my message. I said anything less than 4, 5, 6 goals, and I'm not really going to be convinced. Otherwise, I think the tie is kind of unsalvageable, especially with how poor we were in the first one. But credit to the team and credit to Poch, because we went out and we absolutely destroyed them, to be honest. And it was one of our better games. Yeah, it was a total mismatch, but it was supposed to be. And in the first game, it really wasn't. So I'm very happy about us setting the standard that way and saying, no, there's not going to be an upset today. Like, there's going to be absolutely no chance, and we proved it.
Yeah, 100%. Right, we've all got one winner left. You know what? My winner is the we're back department, because I heard that they were absolutely flooded with calls on Tuesday night because there was claim after claim. I mean, just listen to these stats. Only Ollie Watkins, 22 goals, 22 involvements, has been involved in more goals for Premier League clubs in all competitions amongst English players this season than Cole Palmer, who has 20, 13 goals, 7 assists. Chelsea
as well. Hang on, isn't it like Bellingham's the only other one who's like under 21?
Oh, that sounds like I would agree with that without even looking. I believe you. Chelsea have scored the same amount of goals in all competitions this season, 51, as they did in the whole of the 22-23 season.
That's not hard.
Well, it's still improvement. Let's be honest.
It's certainly that.
Chelsea it was the first time scoring 6 goals in a match since April of 2022. And we had 6 shots, scored all 6. I also found out that the lemon stocks, they're stonkingly high after the win. So Poch's lemons, they've done it again. You can down a glass of lemonade in celebration. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something. And we're looking better. It's nice to say. I know it's Middlesbrough. It doesn't matter. We're looking better.
To be fair, the most unbelievable stat there was that we scored 6 from 6.
We did.
Yeah.
The shot accuracy was off the charts.
That's another good segue actually for my next one, which is chances. My final winner, which is chances. It wasn't necessarily in that we were creating loads of chances, although we were creating a fair few chances. It was the way we were taking them, and quite a few times. I remember Palmer's, I think it was his second goal, as well as Disasi's goal. Both times taken first time without taking a touch, and one, that shows a bit of confidence, and I'm really happy to see that. But two, it also, I don't know, it shows there's like an urgency but a clinicality in terms of like choosing the best option at the right time to score a goal. And I think a lot of our players, especially earlier in the season, would take a touch where both of them didn't. And it's just an interesting little thing to note about that. It seems like something's just clicked, maybe.
What about you, Chris? Who's your final winner?
Well, I'll give an honourable mention first to Colwill, who I thought was really good, and could have made the list here.
At centre back,
yeah, amazing. My final winner though is Raheem Sterling, and I'll tell you why it's Sterling. Because I don't think by any stretch it was like his best game for us this season, but he has a knack at the minute, Sterling, of turning up in big moments and doing something, even if his overall game hasn't been great. He did it in our last game, winning the penalty, when I thought he had a pretty shit game aside from that. But again, it's the big moment and he stepped up. And in this game, he got the assist for the opening goal, which, let's face it, was the most crucial goal of the night, wasn't it? Really? Because the longer it went on without us scoring, the more nervy the game would have been. And I just think with Sterling, he just has an ability to suddenly switch on and create a chance or score a goal in a game where he doesn't have to be in it all the time. And I do think those players are like invaluable at times. And again, Sterling's another one where I think expectation levels are a little bit too high on him and everyone wants him to be like Hazard level every week, and it's just not going to happen. But I actually think he's quietly having a really, really good season without getting much praise for it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. I really do. We move as obviously there's always losers. There's always losers, usually more than winners, but not today. 2 losers for me. First is Craig Burley, because whenever this man is on my screen, I'm not interested in anything he has to say about Chelsea.
It's true. He just slags us off all the time.
Yeah, when his
Craig Burley, you're an enemy of the show, mate.
When his face appears, I'm muting. You know, he could tell me I just won £5 million. I'd never know. I wouldn't pick the prize up. He's just, I mean, here are some of his takes from the game. If you just wondered, listeners, if you thought, I didn't get to see this. So Chelsea didn't create any of those goals. It was all Michael Carrick's management. If they don't give them those chances, Chelsea can't create. Chelsea's current run of form is just fragile confidence. He's a former Blue as well.
He's a knob.
Doesn't show it, does it?
No,
Doesn't
you know what? That is a more accurate. Yeah.
My bloody word. What
I guess he just really didn't like playing for us or whatever. Because I feel like our culture tends to like really get to players, you know, like, and we like a lot of them really become like family to us, even if they were like important in other places. But Craig Burley does not like us.
Yeah, he was at our club for 8 years, longer than any other club. Seems to hate us. Oh man, right.
Fair enough, Craig.
Who's a loser for you, Ollie?
First loser for me is clean sheets. Just couldn't cap it off, make it the perfect evening, could we? But yeah. Oh, listen, we're gonna keep it short and sweet because, like, listen, we still scored 6 goals. We let 1 in. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just a bit annoying. Like when you've already crushed the opposition, you've already absolutely, you know, you've done everything you can do. Everything went perfectly. There's nothing else that you can do to make this go any better, except just hold on to your lead. Like I know it sounds stupid, but hold on to the clean sheet because it really matters.
I know where you're coming from. I just didn't care. I was like, you know,
no,
and
it's fair not to care because we scored 6 goals. But it's just like, I feel like Poch would have been annoyed.
Yeah,
I feel like the coaches will have been annoyed, and that does irk me.
You know what's annoying about it though? It's the fact that I'm fed up of conceding good goals.
It was a good goal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
really
a lot of the time, 9 times out of 10, he gets that shot wrong and hits the defender or puts it wide or puts it 2 down the middle and it's simple for the keeper. But it just seems like every time we make a tiny mistake, everyone turns into like Messi, and it's like I'll just
fucking
find the corners.
Like
it's
it
annoying.
does feel like that. It does really feel like you get punished like that for mistakes, but it's probably more that we're just conceding more than we used to.
Right, Chris, who's a loser?
I'm gonna have a little rant here. I've got football. Because
Jimmy Bullard's not happy.
I'm getting my popcorn out, ladies and
as
gentlemen.
enjoyable as the game was for being a Chelsea fan, it also really pissed me off because it was a clear indication of how football is dead. We all enjoyed Guardiola's Barcelona, but that team absolutely killed football. Because why the fuck are Middlesbrough, who are 1-0 up in a 2-legged tie, coming away to a Premier League team and playing out from the back? Like, But not only that, not only did they do that, which was absolutely ridiculously stupid, they kept doing it at 4-0 down. And it's like, you have conceded 3 goals from giving it away, from playing out from the back. And as a manager, you've gone,
This half.
no, we'll just keep doing it because that's how we play. The biggest thing, and I think being a coach, it annoys me more, but the biggest thing that has died in football coaching and management is adaptability. Coaches now have one way of playing, and it's Pep Guardiola's way, and they don't know what else to do. It's like, that's not working today. And they're like, well, I don't know what else you want me to do, mate. We play a high line and we play out from the back. So that's what we've got to do. But it's not working.
Like Spurs, like the Spurs thing against us.
It's so stupid. And for me, that's why football now is so much more boring. You don't really get
fair.
upsets anymore because the team with the better players now just wins because everyone's playing the same way. Whereas it used to be really hard because you come up against different styles and tactics and way of playing every week. But now it's like everyone tries to be Man City, but no one's got their squad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty
It
accurate.
does feel like that. And I think actually some of the better teams in terms of identity and in terms of just the way they like in terms of just their standing as a club, it's interesting because they stand out more for not playing that way.
Yeah.
Like Everton under Sean Dyche really stood out like that to me. They don't play that way. They lump it long. They get the 2 big men, and that's what they do. You know, like that, and that's fine. And that's the way that Dyche chooses to play, and been very successful everywhere he's ever managed playing that way. And you're right. It feels, and I think that's the reason as well. People talk about players becoming so robotic now because they are all playing the same way. They're all required to do the same things.
Yeah. Ollie, who's a loser for you?
Middlesbrough. It's quite similar to it's very similar to Chris's point. It's just like they really shot themselves in the foot, and I think it's fair to say like it wasn't the best performance of the season from us. We did really well, but I think there are other games this season we've actually played better and to a higher caliber than that game, and actually not even won.
Yeah,
we were really clinical and we did really well, but Middlesbrough were absolutely shocking. They were absolutely woeful. They have their own injury issues, and that's totally fair to them. But like Chris says, they should have come out immediately playing a low block from minute 1. That's what they should have been doing rather than faffing about playing at the back, because they made it easy for us in the end. And when you do that for your opponent and they are better than you, it's gonna kill you. It just seemed really naive from them.
Right, this is going to be interesting because my final loser is Mykhailo Mudryk.
He's mine as well.
He's on mine too.
Wow. Now I'll say why. In a match
Because he was shit.
Yeah. That was the too long, didn't read. Look, in a match where it was hard to pinpoint anyone really having a rough game, he struggled to make an impact in that first half. And look, despite the pace, he failed to capitalise. And Pochettino was frustrated with the decision making, and that he'd seen enough, hadn't he? He'd subbed him off at half time.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Look, it's a reoccurring theme with Mudryk. You know, it's a sense of detachment from the team, even in games where he manages to contribute. Look, it's not about lacking support from teammates or a shortage of like the overlaps. I kind of feel it's his positioning, his movement, and decision making.
It's that third one. It's his decision making.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's Enzo was trying to link up with him throughout the game, but they just weren't on the same page. They were failing. He was failing to read the plays, and I'm not sure what the long-term plan is here. But I could see all parties benefiting from him going out on a loan in the summer. That's not. I know some people are going, "Oh, we're being." I've seen on social being harsh on him. I want him to succeed. I really do. I just right now. He just needs that confidence. I feel like he might be overthinking everything.
Maybe, although I am one of those people actually on social media who's saying I think we're being too harsh on him, because if there's one thing that Mudryk has really shown us since he's got here, is that he's inconsistent as all hell. And I don't really see how this particular poor performance of 45 minutes was any different to his last particular poor performance. And so as a result, that because he has 2 good games and he gets dropped out of the team, then he has to wait 2-3 games to come back in, comes back, doesn't do very well, then he'll come back and he'll do a bit better. I think I heard he was injured potentially as well, a slight knock, maybe. I don't know, but maybe Potts just said that to keep his chin up. But for me, I don't really get the out. Like, he is a loser for me because he was the worst player, but I also don't really get the outrage on the basis that we know he's inconsistent and we know games like this are going to happen. So why are people still surprised?
Yeah. I think the thing is with Mudryk, and I think why it's frustrating is you would accept it if he was 18, 19, but he's like 22.
But he is like 18, 19 in like footballing, like in senior minutes. He kind of is.
Yeah, but I think the most concerning thing with Mudryk is he doesn't seem to have any understanding of football at all. Like he's got no he's got no tactical understanding whatsoever. He doesn't know when to come short, when to go in behind, when to come inside, when to stay wide. It's like he doesn't understand the game because it looks to me like a player who, because he's always been so quick, no one's ever actually coached him because it's been so easy to just exploit the fact that he's quick that he hasn't needed to. I think he would benefit massively from a loan move to a team where he's going to get coached but also play. Because I think Potts could coach him, but I don't think he's going to be good enough to play in our team to put into practice the things he's getting coached at. So I think a loan move away under a good manager who's going to coach and nurture him, but also play him every week would be the best option. Because at the minute, I just don't see him growing.
But I do think what he lacks, what he lacks, can be taught. For me, I think it comes down to, because I've seen a lot of people, and maybe this is why I've been defending him a bit, is because people on social media saying he's literally useless, he's the worst footballer I've ever seen, can't trap a ball, can't do this, can't do that, and I'm like, no, he's good enough to get here. Maybe he's not good enough to be the superstar you think he could have been, like he should have been when we bought him.
I don't know.
He's not the worst player we've ever had, and we know he's inconsistent. And so, I don't know. Chris, you did make me laugh because you basically said, like if you took him and actually sat down next to him and said, your problem, Misha, is actually you just don't understand the game at all.
He doesn't.
Your main problem is you just have no idea what you're doing.
We did just answer Tom's question when he asked for our thoughts on Mudryk. So there we go. There you go, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Right, who's go for the rest of your losers.
I've got none. All mine are gone.
I've only got one left, and it's a really obvious one. And I think he's on my losers list every week. Broja, again, just a championship team. A game we scored 6 in, didn't get a goal. I've never seen.
He almost got a goal.
Sort of, No.
No, he's not giving him that. No.
Oh, fuck me.
That's like the one where he kicked it earlier in the season. He kicked it against somebody and scored.
Why is he taking a touch? The ball from Sterling isn't great. It's not the best pass I've ever seen, but just turn it in. The keeper's not in the goal. Nothing's going to stop the ball between you and the goal because it's completely open. So just turn it towards the goal. He tried to take a touch. If anything, Howson actually saved him, because I think if he doesn't come in there, or he comes in and makes a better challenge rather than putting it in with his knee, and he comes in and puts it out, I think that's Broja done, because that was the biggest moment in the game. I just think I've seen absolutely nothing in him to suggest that he's going to be a good player.
This season, I've seen enough, I think, from Broja. Maybe it sounds harsh because of because he's still arguably recovering from his injury, but you reckon he probably should be really back to full fitness by now. And if this is just his new level, then it's not enough. It just isn't.
Right. Emojis, I've got big smile because I was just smiling that we scored 6. Should also,
I've actually gone with the shrug emoji. Because like when you shrug, you sort of say whatever will be, because we're going to Wembley.
We are indeed, Chris.
I'll go with just the general smile, because I was happy obviously with how the game went, but I am more of I would have preferred to have been sat on the edge of my seat in 90 minutes, like 2-0 up, thinking, we could concede a goal here. I do just find those games a bit boring.
No, I like it when we trash everybody. It hasn't happened in so long.
It's fair. It's fair. Oh, right. We move to the Lion of the Week, but it was the Lion of the Midweek because We had some line midweek picks. We had Caicedo, that was me. Sterling and Palmer. Those are win. That's 2 hit out the park. Well done.
Who did
Next,
I pick?
I can't. One of those two.
I wasn't there. Who did I pick?
You could have claimed that.
Ollie had Broja.
Yeah, good shout.
Crap.
Brilliant shout.
Damn it.
Next up is Villa in the 4th round of the FA Cup, and that's why we're recording today, because it's tomorrow. Who are you choosing? I can spin my wheel now if we want.
Yeah, please do.
Go ahead. You can have a little thing, because I'd probably get an injured player. What's the wheel say? Oh, well, I hope it's not Robert Sanchez. It was about to let Carney, Chukwuemeka. Oh, that could be a high risk, high reward.
He might play. He is back in full team.
I know.
Training, yeah. I'm going to go with Noni Madueke. I'm going to go with your man.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Ollie? I was just thinking the same. That's weird.
Well, pick him if you want.
Yeah.
No, I'll pick someone different. Keep it interesting. Who shall I go with? I'm going to go with Colwell.
Nice. Hopefully, 3 points. You don't get points in the FA Cup. Hopefully, we win. That's good enough.
Hopefully, 3 goals and none.
Yeah, exactly. Let's head to Charisma's questions. We've got 2. We've got Greg on the Discord has asked, question for you lads. Do we really need a striker this January? Or was Disasi's movement up front our option? He played as a striker until under 16 level, we're told.
There you go.
Problem solved.
If nothing else, it's different. He could be the sort of target man striker.
We used to ask about Alonso up front, and he never got a chance.
I think
he should have.
If the greatest striker of our generation, Marcus Alonso, didn't get a chance up front, Disasi's gone though.
You know what? For the final 15 minutes of a game, I'd love to see him get a run there. Why not?
Honestly, I was crying out when we knew Alonso was leaving. I was in his last game. I was just like, just play him up front, just for 45 minutes. If he scores, new contract on the table.
Bloody right. Right. And Thomas has asked, what do you guys think will be the total goals and assists contribution for Palm by the end of the season? He's on 18 with 19 guaranteed games left, by the way.
How many goals and what is the split of his goals and assists? Do we know?
He's on 13 goals, so that would be 5 assists.
13 and 5. Okay. I think he's going to get to 21 goals and 9 assists.
Wow.
That's
depending on FA Cup progress, of course. 19 guaranteed games if we get through more games. What do you think, Chris?
I think with him taking penalties, I don't think Ollie's going to be far off his shoulder.
I've just made it just a 30 goal and assist season. So it's quite a big season in your breakout year. But
I'm going to say 20 goals, 7 assists.
Okay. Ooh,
so I think, do you know what? I think that's actually more realistic.
20 and 10, 20 and 7.
Form drop off a little bit in the second half of the season when there's not as much to play for. We'll see. But then again, we might have something to play for. We'll see.
I'm thinking with assists as well, it's very dependent on people actually scoring.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a good point, yeah. Because if we get Benzema, he might have another 15.
We are getting Benzema. It's not happening. I keep saying
I know. Let me dream, okay? Let me want things, Mikey.
I will go 21 goals, 8 assists. I'll go ambitious. Yeah, let's go with that. 8 assists, 21 goals. I'll put that in the Discord.
Berth said 40 goals, but
40, bloody hell. I'll tell you what, though, Berth is really pissed off right now because he's not turned up for the carousel.
And he picked Bettinelli for Lion of the Week as well. Oh,
right.
God.
We know the category.
Shocker.
Well, we don't. We know that it's a game of categories. The category, though, this week is Pep Guardiola's most used players. Sorry, Chris. I know Guardiola's been mentioned again.
Here we go.
So I want you to name the top 30 players that ruin football. No, that have made the most appearances under Guardiola during his time with Barcelona, Bayern, and Man City. And when I did this, I got all 30. But I want to stress this: I was shocked at how many Man City players made the list. There's a clue. I genuinely was shocked, but he has been there a while.
Why are you shocked? Yeah, he's been there
the longest.
Else.
I sort of forget that. I feel like he was at Barcelona for like a decade. But
he wasn't there for very long.
No, it doesn't. Mate, clearly. Right. We will start with you, Ollie. Who's a name?
Kevin De Bruyne.
He's on there.
Messi.
He's on there. Of course he is.
Sterling.
Yep.
Busquets.
Yes.
Walker.
Yep.
Xavi.
Yes.
Mahrez.
Yes.
Iniesta.
Yes.
Fernandinho.
Yes.
Jordi Alba.
No. Oh no, you've gone.
Ah,
Oh, he's not
but he
made
played
the list.
every game.
Well, he couldn't have played that many.
I'm going to go with John Stones.
Well, that's just showing off, Ollie. You already won.
Oh, have I already? Sorry,
But you're right,
I
John.
thought I needed one more to win it.
I will
Oh,
go
I had
through
more
them.
as well.
Go on, go for it, Chris. You've got honourable mentions.
I can think of a fair few more.
Yeah,
Go for
David
it.
Silva.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bernardo Silva.
yeah.
Company.
Let me check. No.
Gundogan.
Wow.
Yes.
Foden.
Yes.
Edison.
Yes.
Rodri.
Yes.
Aguero.
Yeah.
Pedro.
Yeah.
Victor Valdez.
Yeah.
Puyol.
Well, I think he's on there. He is.
PK.
Yeah.
PK. No, I'm struggling now.
No way, dude. See what I mean? There's no way PK played more games than Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba would literally used to sleep at the new camp because he was like playing on the pitch that much.
I don't
So,
know, like Ruben Diaz on there or something. Or
yeah, he's on
Neuer,
there.
maybe?
Ruben Diaz. Who else? The other one?
Danny Alves.
Yeah. Who was the other one you said, Ollie?
Neuer.
Yeah. You've missed
Oh, I
out.
forgot about Boyle.
You've
Yeah, you've got like Muller and stuff as well, haven't you? Like
Yeah,
Philip
yeah.
Lahm, Alaba.
no,
Philip Lahm,
no,
yeah.
Lahm wasn't on there. And so you
Oh.
you missed out on Laporte, Jesus, Cancelo, Otamendi, and this one shocked me. Seydou Keita.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Laporte played more games under Guardiola than Jordi Alba did.
I need to check.
That makes no sense to me.
That is
Surely not.
absolutely insane.
You know what? It just shows how short of a time he was at Barca, really. Because he's just been at City for so much more time than that.
I'm just going to check
When
when
did he-
Jordi
when did he
Alba
get to
joined.
City? Was it like 2015, 16, 17, something like that? He's like, so 7 years or so.
So
I thought Jordi Alba was just part of that, crew who just played every game for Barcelona.
let me just check. So he joined Barcelona in 2012. When did Guardiola leave? He left in 2012.
That'll be why then.
I didn't even realise that myself.
Who played left back then for Guardiola's teams? Guardiola's like good Barcelona teams. I can't think of another Barcelona. Who?
Adriano, remember him?
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, it might be him. I don't know.
Yeah,
Someone
I'm gonna
Brazilian, for sure.
let me look. It'd be 2011-12, wouldn't it, Barcelona? Yeah, because that'd be his final season. I'm pretty sure it was Adriano. Let me check when they won everything. It was. They didn't have a recognised left back. Adriano and Abidal.
Abidal,
Yeah.
yeah.
How long was he at Bayern for then? Because
I think 3 seasons, but I'll just double check that. I don't want to say that and be completely wrong.
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's been at Man City.
He was
by
at
far the most.
Barcelona for 4
Yeah.
years. He was at Bayern for 3, and he's been at City since 2016.
I just,
Wow.
you know what? We're
Wow,
in
it's a long
2016,
time.
We should have done absolutely everything to try and get him in 2016. Never mind.
It is what it is. Right, we're at the end of another episode. Thank you, as always, for listening. Treat yourself well. We'll be back on Monday, review the FA Cup against Aston Villa and Chelsea's women against Brighton. So, till next time, that is us signing off. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.